everyone. This is Nicole Wolfe from Canadian Beats, and we are at the Toronto Beer Festival in lovely downtown Toronto, right at the CNE exhibition. And I am joined by Big Sugar this afternoon, and we're going to talk about perhaps maybe some beer, summer festivals, and anything else that might be of interest today. So thank you so much and welcome. Who am I sitting here with today?
Alex Johnson.
Gordy Johnson.
Mr. Chill.
Gary Lowe.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining. Now, summer festivals, reggae music just seem to really pair well together, especially when you add beer into the mix. I know you guys just got here. Are you going to have a chance, though, to sample any of the beer here today?
It's likely.
They're delivering to the stage, right? Yeah.
The order's in.
You won't have to work for it.
I won't, yeah. Yeah, I would really hope so. It'd be silly not to, I would guess, right?
Well, beer is one of the things that has been around so long, and it's good to celebrate it. And I want to just sample the different flavors and beauty of life, right?
Absolutely. Now, what would be the choice? Would it be craft beer, domestic beer, or import?
I might be in the minority here, but I need my beer made by professionals. You got to have a factory in Europe that's been there for a couple of 100 years. And volume. I need to know I can get it on every continent. I'm not putting down the independent brewers, and I know people like their microbrews, but when I was a drinking man, I appreciated a good brand name beer.
A little bit of information there for you folks. That's awesome. All right, so how does summer festival touring compare to touring for an album, let's say? Is there a difference? Is it a little bit more lighthearted here today?
It's way more fun, I think. Summer shows, because it's not a grind. You're not doing a show every night for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. You're not eating in truck stops and shaving in a cold water sink in a dressing room. It's a little more humane. You get to spend a little time in a town, and you're outside by and large. The weather's nice,
And it's always a treat to get back together and see each other. We're just so happy when we land in an airport and everybody's standing there waiting. It's like a reunion every week.
Awesome. Now, will we hear more? You're classified as a reggae blues band. Will we hear more of the reggae and less of the blues today, do you think?
Oh, well, you're always going to get all those elements in a Big Sugar show, but I think we're leaning heavily on the reggae today. It's just been a bit of a tradition for us here. We've played this festival 4 times, maybe 3-4 times, and that seems to be the aspect of our show that just goes down easy drinking on a hot sunny afternoon on the lake, so that'll be what we bring you today.
Absolutely. And I'm sure we're going to be hearing some songs from your latest album, Calling All Youth, or will you be sampling from your entire record catalog?
We're gonna go deep. We've got stuff on the set list special for the show tonight that we go. Some of these songs we haven't done in 20 years.
Right.
Just going back to some of the ska and the reggae and some of the nice stuff that we've done, it's really gave us a chance to highlight some of the new stuff too. Some of the stuff from Calling All the Youth will be in the set, especially the more reggae focused stuff. But yeah, no, we've gone all the way back to our first and second records for some of the material today.
Great. Now, your website said you've got some surprises coming up in store for 2016. What have you got going on in 2016 after summer festival season?
Is that what it says?
Well, then it wouldn't be a surprise. We need to keep it a surprise.
Apparently it's going to be a surprise to some of the band members.
All right. So is a potential album in the works is what I'm wondering.
Well, yeah, there's lots going on creatively. We've been putting pen to paper a lot. The band hasn't gotten together to flesh out the songs yet, but they start with ideas in a book, just writing lyrics. So, you know, the two of us have been writing lyrics and just amassing a bunch of ideas so that when the band does get together, we've got a really good starting point. We've also put together a collection of some of our classic rhythms and taken some of our classic rhythm tracks, and we've been working for the last couple of years to get some of our favorite reggae artists and some other artists to sing their own songs over the classic Big Sugar rhythms. So
That'll be a big surprise.
yeah, that'll be a surprise.
Isn't that one of the surprises?
It'll be a surprise to us if we can actually get it done. I don't think that'll be the surprise.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, you know, normally at this point in an interview, I'm probably with a much less seasoned band, and I would be asking them, you know, who do you want to work with in the future? But I mean, as Big Sugar, you've probably ticked off a lot of those boxes already. So I'm going to ask you, who do you see that's up and coming that you've got your eye on?
Wow.
That we would play with?
Sure, that would work.
You know, I think there's a band called the Trues. Those young fellas, I think I think they could really do something with this whole music thing. I think they could make a go of it. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that now. Early times, but I think the Trues have some staying power. I don't know. That's my prediction.
Great. Now, what would be one item collectively that you could agree upon that you would absolutely want on tour, gear aside?
Did you say beer aside?
Gear.
Oh, gear.
She said beer.
Didn't we just agree to have Bombay Sapphire Gin on the dressing room rider? I mean, that's what else was there?
You know what always runs out first? Water.
Yeah.
Not exciting, but vital.
But very vital, especially on stage, I'm sure.
And other ones.
I feel like coconut water myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those electrolytes without none of the chemicals.
Absolutely. And who would be on your playlist right now that you're listening to?
Well, I was just singing a Louis Armstrong tune for us sitting at the table here a little while ago. We've been listening to a lot of classic jazz lately. I used to play that in my younger days, and I'm just rediscovering so many great romantic songs, and you know, it's really inspiring to go back and rediscover those songs and those lyrics again with a different, you know, when I first encountered that music, I was in my late teens and early 20s. Now I'm not. And they just strike you in a whole different manner. So that's what I'm rediscovering lately.
That works. Did you want to say something too?
I mean, if it's all right.
You were already listening to that stuff.
There's an artist in Australia that I'm a big fan of right now, a guy named Marlon T. Williams. I really dig, and anyway, it's on my playlist. And I just bought a Lester Young record, so that's obviously the you know, a few weeks ago kind of music. And yeah, I've always dug Perez's music, and a band from the Carolinas called Mandolin Orange. You know. Gary, you got anybody?
Yeah, I got one guy. He's from Toronto. He's actually a Toronto reggae artist. His name is Odell Johnson. His music is great. You listen to music, and tomorrow you will be like, oh, there is, you know, that, oh my God, does it ever, and the engineering on it is so amazing, you know, really memorable songs and sounds, you know. It's like authentic stuff.
Now, at Canadian Beats, we really, really enjoy our food. So if we were having you over for dinner and we'd asked you to bring a dish, what would you bring Canadian Beats for dinner?
Well, Canadian Beats, you already have the beets covered, so I was going to bring borscht, but I guess I won't bring that. Our favorite item to bring to a dinner party, even at our own dinner parties, I roast red peppers at home. I get some oak burning in my pit and get the coals nice and hot, and then I char my red peppers over oak, and you know, you cool them down and peel them all off, and with some fresh basil and garlic. I smoke my own garlic too, so I use some smoked garlic and fresh basil, olive oil, salt and pepper. That's it, and it's
Like nothing you'll taste
oh
anywhere
my God.
else.
It's better than dessert. Really, it's the
Where do I sign up for that? My goodness, it sounds amazing. And lastly, in 20 words or less, describe Big Sugar.
oh we'll get to begin with the word limit and the describing ourselves. By the time we figure out the word count, we don't really, here's the thing, and we get asked this once in a while, but you got to realize we're not journalists, and we're not analysts when it comes to music. As much as we understand about music, we explain it by expressing it to you through our music. So it's really an unfair question. It's the kind of question that, a journalist could ask another journalist, I suppose, but we're not really. I would have a hard time even describing somebody else's music, but especially our own music. We don't think of it that way. We didn't set out to put this recipe together like we weren't already thinking about it. We just each have our own musical contributions. So if I bring a song to the band, I don't ask Gary to play something that he doesn't already do. I could say, oh, that thing you do that. Or with Mr. Chill, oh, that thing you do when you play the horn, well, can you do some of what you do over here? And that's anything other than that, and I think you're putting too much thought into it, or it's insincere, I don't know. But no, we just bring, obviously all of our music backgrounds come together to make us sound the way we do. So.
That's probably the best answer I've ever heard to that question. So there you go. Because in reality, music is a very personal experience, and an experience on stage is probably different for you every time. And that absolutely makes sense. So thank you very much, Big Sugar, for your time with Canadian Beats today. We look forward to seeing you on stage today. Thank you so much. Thank you. This has been Nicole Wolfe from Canadian Beats, and we'll catch you next time.
Life is a feel, baby.
Absolutely.